What's up, guys? So today we're excited to tell you that we have beat all three hard mode bosses finally. We're going to be teaching you how we did it. We're going to go through some techniques and just some random stuff we're going to be doing to help you explain and figure out how to do these guys. First off, Bree Bear, Fozzie, and Gravity, all three of us were level 30s when we started doing this. We all had our endgame weapon, which you can get from the Tumacy Theorist or the All-Watcher. If you do it from the All-Watcher, just remember you do have to regenerate your world every single time that you beat him, unfortunately. So it's kind of a tedious process. The endgame weapons that you can get for each class: Warrior has a Crystal Executioner, Mage has Mira's Staff, and Ranger has Jordan's Pyre. The Crystal Executioner you can actually see being used on the right side of the screen right now. It's the sword that's being used. And just if you guys are going to do the Hollow King, which is the one that we're currently watching right now, if you're going to be using if you're going to be using Mage, there we go, you do want to be using the Titanium Dark Wand or the Lavossalin of the Witches 3, which is going to be the wand that I'm currently using on the left side, and then the skull that's right next to it. Both of those are pretty good dark damage for the Hollow King. And then honestly, I wouldn't recommend using Ranger for him because there's no good elemental damage that actually helps. The multi-strike might help a little bit, but you want the elemental with this guy definitely, for sure. If you're doing the Ice Dragon, any high level staff or wand will work if you're a mage. Going for the Warrior, you definitely want to use that same Crystal Executioner sword.
No, you don't. You want to use the electric sword.
That's right, the electric sword that you get from the hard mode worm. I can't remember what that one was called. I think it was Bolt Bringer.
Yeah, something
like that. And then if you're going to go for Ranger, you definitely want to use Jordan's Pyre because you get that multi-strike chance. With the Electro Worm, what we've come up with is if you're going to do the Warrior class, use the Titanium Masterwork Fist of War, Crystal Executioner, or the Titanium Masterwork Cleaver. Just remember to move around your talents a little bit according to which class you're using with those. Ranger, I would use Jordan's Pyre just because of that multi-strike chance again. And then I wouldn't really use the Mage. I mean, you can, but I wouldn't really, because the nice thing about the Mage is that you got that electrical damage, but there's nothing really good that goes against electrical that you can use from the Mage.
Another thing, spells and potions and war cries and stuff like that. Pretty important. Poison Rain 2. You can see me using that. It's super effective when you're just being able to get multiple strikes, not only of the ones you're actually doing, but all together.
But the normal one works too.
The normal one does work. I do have to say Greater Poison Rain is huge.
Yeah, it's like 6 seconds versus 8 seconds. Something
Yeah,
like that.
it makes a huge difference between the two, and I've noticed using them continuously. Another one I have is Warcry. It increases the damage dealt by I can't remember the exact percentage, but it's
15%,
something like 15% for everyone who's within a certain range of me. So it helps definitely with Gravity and I being so close. I can boost both of our attacks up while he's doing his stuff. Potions for Warrior, you really want to use the melee damage. That really increases the damage you're doing with your swords. And again, with the talents, rearrange those. Fortification you don't really need for hard modes. You're not standing still long enough. And as long as you have enough things with Leech, you're fine. You won't need it. Planetary Strike, especially for the last... I guess you can use them.
I mean, you can use it for all of them.
You can use it for all of them. Definitely works best because of the elemental damage increase with the Hollow Knight. That's all.
So yeah, basically what we're going to be talking about now is just how we beat the video. We're going to be how we beat the hard mode bosses, talking about the current one that we're doing right now, which is the Hollow King, which is light damage. And as you can see every once in a while on both sides of the screen, those little yellow balls that just popped up right now, you can see those guys. If you don't get out of the ball,
The orb.
you die. So, I mean, that's probably the most challenging part. I would say definitely the Ice Dragon is going to be the hardest to go for. We personally do not like the Ice Dragon because he's just a pain in the butt.
It's
The
my
Electro
nemesis.
Worm and the Hollow King are definitely
They're
better.
easier once you get the hang of it. The worm, wow, what perfect timing. The worm, they'll this electric charge shock that'll happen. You guys just got to jump up off the platform. That's after you knock him down. He'll shoot two orbs directly at you, and I think he'll do that twice.
Right?
Next,
Is it 2 or 3
it's
times?
it's twice, I think. He'll shake his body and he'll spit little tiny orbs out. They only
Shoot you.
go to where you last were, so you don't honestly have to move as much as we are. I just like being safe. Um,
And if you are going to move like we are, you definitely want to make sure you're staying behind the
you,
other
you
player pretty far because as you can see, her tail was getting me almost a couple times.
yeah.
You definitely do want to be teaming up on tails. You don't want to try and take it down by yourself because usually that ends up not successful because you don't end up taking the whole tail down in the time being.
You can do it. It really just depends on what weapons you're using, what potions, and
Yeah.
really, like I said, poison rain too. If you don't have another person with you, adding that extra damage points helps.
Yeah, definitely a lot.
So big thing, keep mighty mana and mighty healing. A stack of each has done us well for each of the bosses.
Yeah.
In the beginning, we definitely used more. Now we use quite a few less because
Yeah.
we're getting better at it. And as long as K Fozzie's using the Ranger, we got hearts everywhere.
Oh
So,
yeah. As you can see, we don't have any weapons in the first four. That's purely because you don't need it. If you are using your weapon on whatever category you use, you can actually use the hot tab buttons and use the thing that you need. So you can put the healing spell, all your manas, poison rain, stuff like that, your war cries in there.
yeah, so it'll use it without you switching your weapon. So you can keep hitting and you get your healing going, or planetary strike or poison rain. Super helpful.
So yeah, you guys can see, I mean, it's a pretty tedious process. There's that belch electric wave that Bree Bear was talking about just now.
Oh, the dragon.
Typically, he kind of stands up straight and then he like belches out a little bit, and as soon as he hits about the level of the platform, it's usually right about when he's going to do it, give or take. Especially if you have wings, it does help quite a bit in just being able to float and stay up a little longer. As you can see, my Ranger's definitely picking up and spitting out a lot of hearts. So is Bree Bear's, but one of those classes, it just definitely helped the talents. We did a try to do the dragon. We tried to get that footage in here, but
Pissed us off.
yeah, dragon's not much fun. You're probably, if you do end up doing that, I would recommend doing it with a minimum of 3 people, just because that gives you one extra person to cycle through on who's dying and not. Because unfortunately, it's really fast paced. Like, this is nice compared to the dragon. The worm and the Hollow King both, they give you a little bit of a break in between. As you can see, I didn't, like, if I wouldn't have had Bree Bear come in, I probably wouldn't have gotten that tail down. I want to say this was the last one. It is. So that's going to call it, guys. It's been a fun video. Hope you guys learned something. And it's
I
going to,
hope you guys have fun beating the
yeah,
hard
and
modes.
have fun
And good luck.
doing the hard modes. And yeah, good luck. Thanks for watching, guys.